write test cases, how we can find and execute those test cases, and also find the defect of that particular test cases or particular application, and also assign the severity to fix the error, to fix the defect. So the last thing that is on our chapter is database testing. However guys, I would like to tell you that database is not included in this particular testing. Database is a different testing which needs to be done with automation testing. Okay. However, we'll be also covering the basic of database testing, and in the practical you can explore it by yourself. We'll be explaining everything about the database testing. So in order to do database testing, what you need to do, you need to install MySQL command in your system. So basically you also need to install first MySQL database, which can be found by searching on Google. Once you've done that, you have to open what? MySQL command prompt. We do have a command prompt in our system, right? But not this command prompt. The MySQL command prompt, once you install the entire MySQL database, then you will be able to find that within this, if you search naming MySQL database, you will be able to find the command prompt, and with that command prompt we will be executing all our test executing our test in that particular command prompt. So the 3W is what to test in database: ACID properties, CRUD properties, and database queries example. Okay, so let's start with this. What is database testing? So as we discussed earlier, database is one of the major part into a software, right? When it's talked, because it's kind of a central processing unit of your computer. It contains a lot of data. It can be a banking data, it can be a software data, it can be a hotel data. So within this database, we'll be having all the information that we need for our business operation. Once it is needed to be changed, once it is needed to be replaced, once it is needed to be deleted, then for that particular testing we will be needing database testing. Database testing is one of the major testing which requires tester to expertise in checking tables, writing queries and procedures. It may involve creating complex queries to load, stress test the database and check its responsiveness. Testing databases runs around 3 local points: data flows, business logic, and database performances. Data flows is what? Data flows is nothing but whatever. Say for example, I am writing a particular software wherein I said that once I enter character A, it should display all the names with start with character A, correct? Now this is data flow. Business logic is was whenever we think about of writing some kind of information into a database, into a system that we should be able to find it later, then this is a business logic. And the database performances is what? That whatever data that has been fed to the database, whether we are able to find it, whether we are able to change it, whether we are able to replace it. So what do we do? Database testing. Black box testing performed on front end is important, but it makes difficult to isolate the problem. So testing at the backend system increases the robustness of the data. The database testing provides the concrete feedback required to identify defects. You might have a question why we do database testing. So guys, just assume one thing, that you need 100 people in your company who are having less than 15,000 of salary, and you need this data to immediately report it. What you gonna do? Well, for that you need to have database knowledge, because in the MySQL database the data will be started, and with the different commands we will be able to get this particular data which is stored in the database. So we'll be able to find the employees, whether with their employee ID, whether with their employee name or a special designation. We are able to find all the employees who are serving with less than 15,000 salary. For mapping of data, verifying incoming data, verifying outgoing data from query functions, for validating database tables, data models and database schemas. Now what to test in database? Check all the functionality which is happening on every action performed. Check can include delete data, add data and save option. Check whether the added record is added in the database with the exact value, if the value is something else. Check the deleted record gets removed from the database. Nowadays database is getting more complex due to the business logic which plays an important role for application. Now tester should make sure that its values have been added correctly after implementation of the business rule. Database testing are data validity testing, integrated testing, related to the database, testing of procedures, triggers and functions. Now what is ACID property in database testing? So basically ACID is equal to A is equal to atomicity, which means that each transaction is all or nothing. It means that whatever is included, a transaction is a very small unit of a program. It may contain several low level tasks. It means, so for an example, I says, okay, let's filter it out that employee who are having a designation of assistant manager, whose age is less than 45 years and also getting salary of 30,000. Now this is a topic and a subtopic. Data and subdata, data and sub element, which needs to be found in the database, right? We need to first find the employee name, then their designation, then their salary. So this is kind of a subdata type. So for that we need atomicity. It means small elements of data will be under one data. Consistency. Data should be valid according to all defined rules. If I am saying that you should only display the people or the employee we are having 30,000 salary, and it should display the accurate data. Transaction do not affect each other and transaction do not affect each other. It means durability and isolation. The data will be fixed. Okay. Now, crude properties are what? Crude properties are those properties which we use to create, delete, modify a particular data in a database. So when we user creates and save any new transaction that is happening, you will click on create operation is performed. Now once we click, if you type in the MySQL command section that create, it will ask you to enter the table row, table column, wherein you will be able to say, okay, create a table which is table name. So say for an example, create a table naming Abhijit. Okay. Now under Abhijit, what will be the options, what will be the columns and rows, what are the data that I want under Abhijit? Column 1 data type. It means, say for an example, Abhijit, or you can replace the Abhijit by name of digital room. So digital rooms or digitized learning is a company. Now under this companies, column 1 will represent what? Employee name. Column 2 will represent employee designation, and column 3 will implies employee salary. Retrieve means what? When users search or view any saved transaction that is already existed in the database, and we try to retrieve, this operation is performed. Select column 1. Say for an example, I want to retrieve the information for the name of employee, the designation of the employee. And then from table name means from one table to another, or select a column 1, column 2 from table name. Okay. So whatever table name is fed already in the database, it is already saved in the database. From that database we are taking data. Update. When user edit or modify any existing record that is already existed, and we want to change the name, we want to change the salary, we want to change the designation, has been promoted, then the update operation of DB is performed. Update table name. Update, say for example, digitize learning, set, this is the command. Column 1 which contain employee designation is equal to, earlier he was associate, now he is manager. Column 2 which means employee 2 is equal to value 2. It means designation is also changed. Where condition. Where condition means what? Where the condition was like this. So you have to mention in the condition that, say for example, if you are coming out with a logic that employee we are recently promoted in the month of March, those condition will be applied. So you can just where, you can write where and start with the bracket and put your condition. Delete. When a user remove any record from the system, delete operation is performed. Delete from table name. Delete from digitized learning, where employee name is equal to Abhijit. Here is also same. Where, say for example, I am updating the designation. Where designation is equal to associate. Means where it is mentioned that Abhijit was an associate, replace that particular designation with what? With whatever I am updating, which is manager. Similar way to delete a data, delete digitized learning, where it is mentioned, say for example, employee designation or employee salary. Database testing queries, worker ID, first name, last name, salary, joining date, department. This you need to prepare. First is Sitish, Salgar, 10,000 salary, joining date, and the post is admin. Similar way you have to prepare it on the database testing. Database testing queries, SQL queries, write an SQL query to show only the first from a table. It means that whatever the first I mention over there, that is you have to mention. So this particular assignment I will be giving. Again I'm explaining this. Okay, so we do have a 4 type of person like the command that we can use in MySQL database. First is create, to create a username. Second is retrieve, to get a particular data existed. Then update, if you need to update something like name, designation, salary. And delete, it means if you want to delete a particular data from the database under a particular table name. Digitize learning, delete employee record where, employee record where you will write, this is a command, where employee record is equal to Abhijit. So whatever record is there for Abhijit, it will be deleted from the table. We do have one more thing, which is modify. Now, modify you can use, or you can use update as well. Okay, this is how we do database testing, or this is how the database testing is done in order to ensure that whatever data are there, whatever data we have in our database, that is secure and that is also like easily accessible, right? So with this our module 10 is also completed. I hope you enjoy the course, guys. If yes, don't forget to give a review particular, or whatever your feedback you can share it. Thanks for watching. We'll be trying to come out with interesting lessons that you people can learn and become a certified expert.